Hi everyone! I hope y'all are having a really good day and that you enjoyed the first lesson on alternative art materials. And I am really excited about this one because we're actually working on Zentangles. And we actually touched on this when we did some snowflakes in my class last semester. But this one is going to be a little bit different because we are creating some really cool ones all over the piece of paper, and they look like this. Now, I really think that these are so cool, and they look a lot more complicated than they really are. So please don't be discouraged when you see these. I'm not even finished because I knew if I finished, then y'all would be like, whoa. So we are going to do this step by step together. So a Zentangle is pretty much just repeated patterns, shapes, and lines. And you do it over and over and over in a way that is kind of therapeutic. It's very relaxing. I love doing Zentangles. And I have black and white Zentangles here, but you can also color it in. So if you want to just do black and white, that's perfectly fine. But if you want to go the extra step and color everything in, you could color the background something different than the inside of your Zentangles. I like to call these twisted bubbles, and these are just folded angles. So I really like both of these, and I think they're really cool looking. I wouldn't mind putting these up in my house or in my room. So definitely, if you want to learn how to do it, these really cool Zentangles, make sure you keep watching. Okay, the first Zentangle we're going to be doing is this one, and it looks very kooky. It kind of looks like Dr. Seuss Lorax in a way, but all you're going to do first is actually create 3 lines, and you can create more than this, and you can also create more Zentangles than just this one. You could also create the other one that is the folded angle. Now what I'm using is a marker, so that way I can make sure that you're seeing what I'm doing, but you can also use crayons, magic markers, color pencils, anything like that. So what I'm doing first is creating my 3 lines, and these are just kind of wiggly lines. There's no really thought behind them. They're just kind of there. And then I am going to create some dots. So maybe I'll have 2 dots up here, maybe 3 on here, and it doesn't matter the width of them or the spacing of them either. They could be closer if they wanted to, so I'll put a close one right here. You are just going to connect the dots. So I like to do 1 line at a time. And like I said, I'm using Sharpie because I want to make sure you can see it. And you can do some down here. And then you can connect it right in here. So see the difference between a really big space and a really small one. And I like to call these twisted balloons because they just remind me of balloons that have been twisted. And you can tell that there is almost a 3D look to them as well. And you're just going to keep doing that over and over and over, and you don't have to do it as quickly as me. I'm just showing you so that way you can see what it looks like. Definitely take your time. If you want to do it in pencil first, you definitely can, and then go over it in marker and then erase your pencil. Okay, and notice how I'm kind of going off the page here. I'm stopping it at this line. That's just so that way it looks like there is a balloon coming off of the page. I find that the slower you do this, the more therapeutic it is. It's just so relaxing. Okay, and next, I'm going to actually draw a line through these. So there's an imaginary line that goes through here, over here, and through here. And if you want to do that with a pencil, you can, because you can always erase with a pencil. Make sure you do it lightly. Remember, when we sketch, we do it lightly and loosely. Next, I have my dots. And let's see, I'll put a dot here. Going off the page. And this time, I'm actually trying to connect this dot over to this dot. So that's going to be really big. And this is where using your imagination. So see, I know that it's going to go through here, but I'm not actually drawing it through there because I want this one to be in front. Remember that foreground background action that we talk about so much in my class. If you're not used to foreground background, you can always use a pencil to pretend like it's going through, and then you can erase the inside. Okay? And you can do this as many times as you want to. I'm just stopping at a certain point so that way it doesn't get too confusing for me. I need to put a dot right here. Now, let's say I want maybe one more here because there was a big space over here, so I want to make sure I fill that up. This would be really good if you wanted to do repeated addition and each one of these was the same one, and then you just count it up. So let's say there's only 5 lines in here. You could say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So I could have 25 lines right here. That could be really cool if you wanted to use that with math. I've done the basic drawing of it, and now I can use some colors. So I'm going to use orange, and I'm going to use this navy color because blue and orange are complementary colors, which are colors across from the color wheel. I could color the inside of this orange, and of course you don't have to use this if you don't have color pencils. You can use crayons, markers. You could even just use pencil and make it dark and light, so the background could be dark and then this could be light. So I can color that in, and if I really wanted to make the super 3D, I could make the outside of this part dark and then the inside a little bit lighter, because your outside edges are going to be darker than your inside edges usually, especially when it's like a sphere. Use my navy as a background. And then what that will do is make that orange really pop off the page. And notice how I'm coloring on the side of it, so that way it's not just a thin line, but it's actually a thick line. That's a really good tip if you want to color a lot of area. So this is our demo for the twisted balloons. and or twisted bubbles, whatever you want to call it. And you could even do this color a different color. You could even color this a different color from the orange to really make it pop out of the page. So if I wanted to, I could do a yellow, that would be really pretty, or maybe a red. I want you to be creative, okay? Because then we're gonna share this later. So just as an overview, what I did was I drew my lines first, just some basic squiggly lines. Then I plotted or placed some dots. Then I started connecting the dots together and then layering them over and over and over. That's what happened here. Then I put another line through what I already had, so it looked like this, and then I put a line through here. Okay? Now you can always go back through the video and rewind it to see everything step by step again, and follow along with me and pause if you want to. What I did first was I created some zigzags, and I only did 2 zigzags for this. Then, just like the other picture, I plotted off the lines with dots. I finished plotting off the lines. So this looks more complicated than it actually is. All I did was connect the lines. Instead of a round arch, I did it as an angle, and these are going to be obtuse angles. Okay? And I just kept doing that. Now, you might be wondering, what am I supposed to do when it's really close to another dot? Well, you can actually use this as a connecting point. So I used this point of the angle to connect to this dot. So this point to this point, and I just created an obtuse triangle. Obtuse means that it is more than 90 degrees. And here I have another point where it's kind of in my way, so I'm using the point of this angle to connect to this dot. See what I did? The point of this angle connected to this dot. And I'm just going to mirror this angle right here. So if this wasn't here, that's what it would look like. And feel free to slow this down, rewind it, go back, look at it. This is the good part about having an online video class. You can go back and look at stuff as much as you want to. This is on your time. Okay, I'm going to connect that one. That's looking more like an acute angle. Acute means it is less than 90 degrees. So a 90 degree would be this angle and then right here. This one's really complicated, so you can stop right here if you want to, or you could do what we did with the twisted balloon and go right through. Or you could even use a ruler or even a cereal box, a piece of cardboard, anything that has a straight edge and it's pretty thick, and you could create lines going through it. So what I'm doing is I just put a line on each side of my ruler, and now I am touching that last line with the edge of my ruler, and then just creating lines. And that's pretty much it. Now I can go in with a marker or a crayon, and I can color it whatever I want to. This part is totally up to you. I could do each one a different color and kind of like a pattern. And then I could do this a different color as well, just like a pattern. And I think that would look very cool and nice. So see, I could do this orange, and then this one green, and then this one orange, and then this one green, this one green as well. Be creative. That's what this class is for you to be creative and to have a lot of fun, okay? So, as a review, what we did, we started off with zigzag lines. Then we plotted the dots. So we placed the dots, and then we connected the dots using pretty much an obtuse angle. And just doing that over and over and over. And like I said before, if you need to, you can rewind this. Okay, that is how you do Zentangles. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I really hope that you're enjoying these lessons. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have an amazing day. Make sure you stay safe, wash your hands, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.